Before going into story, please subscribe my channel. Thank you. This story is set in a world where women have taken the place of men, and men live like women. A princess marries a common boy and brings him to her palace. The boy is very shy, almost like a girl, but the princess is in a playful mood. She tells him, "From today, you are my responsibility, and I will take full care of you." Hearing this, the boy blushes even more, and the two share some romantic moments together. On the other side, another boy is sleeping in a park. Suddenly, a spoiled rich girl and her boyfriend arrive. They misbehave with the boy, which wakes him up. The boyfriend says he thought the boy was dead, so he acted like that. The girl rudely says she wasted years behind this boy and now she will settle the score. She talks about taking over his grandfather's orphanage and forces him to sign some papers. Then they beat him up badly and leave him there. The boy is heartbroken. He only has an old mirror left, given by his grandfather. Looking at it, he says, "Grandpa, I couldn't protect your legacy." Suddenly, strange things start coming out of the mirror: bloody cloth, burning paper, which scares him. Accidentally, he falls off a bridge with the mirror and into the water. A storm rises in the water, and the story suddenly jumps into a time travel moment. Now we enter another world, inside the Joseon dynasty, where a princess is sitting in front of a magical mirror, praying to the gods for rain. When her maid asks her, she says the kingdom is suffering from a severe water shortage, and she wants to bring water somehow. Suddenly, lots of water starts flowing out of the magical mirror. At first, everyone is scared, but then they feel happy and start collecting the water. Slowly, the water stops because the river on the other side dries up completely. As the water dries, Lin opens his eyes. He finds himself in a dry river, even though he remembers falling into water. Then he sees the magical mirror still floating in the air. He remembers his grandfather's words, "Never sell this mirror and always protect it." Now he begins to understand everything. Just then, Lin finds a burnt piece of paper with some information about the Joseon dynasty written on it. He remembers a dream where he was with a princess. He starts wondering, was that girl real? So many questions come to his mind, but he has no answers. Lost in thought, he reaches out and touches the magical mirror. Meanwhile, in the Joseon dynasty, when the water stops coming, the princess becomes sad. Her maid Rui quickly steps in and says they shouldn't worry, because they now have enough water to last at least a month. Then Rui brings a big bowl filled with precious gems and places it in front of the magical mirror. The princess prays and thanks the gods. At that exact moment, Lin's hand reaches through the mirror and accidentally touches Rui's back. She screams in fear, and Lin quickly pulls his hand back, but something precious comes through the mirror with him. Seeing this, the princess believes that the gods are communicating with her. She asks Rui to pray and request food and other supplies, saying they should share all their problems with the gods. Back in Lin's world, he pulls out his hand and sees the valuable object with him, along with a piece of paper containing details about the Joseon dynasty. He realizes that this magical mirror is connecting two different time periods. When he fell into the river, all the water had gone to the other side. Lin, being a kind-hearted person, wants to help those people, but he has no money. Just then, he gets a notification on his phone. It says someone nearby is buying antique items and paying good money for them. Lin decides to sell the precious item and use the money to buy food and supplies for the other world. He reaches the place, but overhears that if anyone brings a fake item, it will be smashed in front of everyone, and the whole thing is broadcast live. The heir of the Chen family, Chen, and his girlfriend are also present. This makes people nervous. One by one, people show their objects. If the item is fake, it's immediately destroyed. Now it's Lin's turn. Chen and his girlfriend are surprised to see him, but they stay quiet for now. Before Lin, two people show off their items, claiming they are valuable, but both are declared fake. The items are smashed on the spot. One of the men gets angry and threatens that if his item is called fake, he'll kill everyone there. Watching all this on TV, CEO Susie of the JAG group starts laughing. Her grandpa walks in and asks why she's laughing. She explains everything, and the two of them sit down to watch the broadcast together. As soon as Grandpa sees the rare item brought by Lin, he becomes alert. Meanwhile, Lin doesn't know much about the object, so he can't explain it properly. Everyone assumes it's fake, even the experts say it is, because they've never seen anything like it before. Chin takes advantage of the moment and breaks the item while Lin is distracted. When Lin finds out, he gets furious. Chen arrogantly says, "That's the rule. If it's fake, it gets broken in front of everyone." Grandpa, watching everything, realizes that Lin's item was genuine and gets really angry. But when Susie tells him it's a live broadcast and can't be stopped, he decides to go there himself. Back at the event, Chen shouts that Lin won't be allowed to leave until he apologizes and licks his shoes, or brings something even more valuable. Lin remembers the magical mirror and thinks he can bring something again. He prays to the gods and says, "Please help me this time. If I get something valuable, I'll be able to help the people of the other world." He reaches into the sack where the magical mirror is hidden. On the other side, the princess and her maid Ray enter the mirror room with some precious items. Just then, a hand comes out of the mirror and takes all of them. They believe the gods accepted their offerings. In reality, Lin places those items in front of Chen. But Chen keeps calling everything fake and breaks them one by one. After a while, Lin places a hairpin on the table. Just as Chen is about to break it, Susie's grandpa arrives and firmly orders everyone to stop. As soon as people see him, they all stand up. He's an extremely rich and powerful man. Chen gets scared and thinks he's angry because of Lin, so he tells Lin to leave. But Grandpa yells at Chen instead, saying, "You've destroyed so many valuable things." He picks up the hairpin and examines it closely. Then he realizes it's a genuine artifact from the Zhao dynasty. He turns to Lin and says, "You had some truly rare and valuable things, but this guy destroyed them all." When Grandpa asks Lin if he has anything else besides the hairpin, Lin says yes and reaches into his sack, the magical sack that lets him pull things from the other world. By accident, he leans too far in and ends up halfway inside it, trying to grab something. He thinks, "Anything I get from there is probably valuable here." After searching for a while, he pulls out the princess's bra. At first, he doesn't realize what it is, but when he sees it, he gets super embarrassed. Still, feeling the pressure, he shows it to everyone. People start laughing. Someone says, "Is this the expensive thing?" Another jokes, "Where are you gonna wear that?" Lin gets flustered and says, "I know it looks strange, but it's valuable. Just because you don't see the worth doesn't mean it's useless." Chen and his friends keep mocking him, but Grandpa clearly doesn't like it. He tells everyone to be quiet and says he wants to speak to Lin alone. He even asks Chen's girlfriend to leave, which makes Chen even more annoyed. Once everyone's out, Grandpa carefully picks up the bra and examines it. He realizes it's decorated with real gold and silver thread. He says, "This could be a royal bra from the Zhao dynasty, maybe even from a queen or princess." When the experts check it, they confirm it's authentic and extremely valuable. Everyone is excited to have found a real artifact from the Zhao dynasty. Lin then says, "All my other items were just as valuable, but Chen destroyed them. I want compensation." Chen refuses to pay, but Grandpa says he has to. Those items were real and together worth at least 17 million. "If you don't pay," Grandpa adds, "I'll cut ties with you and go against you publicly." Scared, Chen pulls out his card and says he only has 13 million for now. Lin replies, "Fine, I'll accept it. But for the rest, you either lick my shoes or act like a monkey and leave crawling." Chen's ego takes a hit. He refuses. Lin says, "Then give me my money back." Now Chen is stuck. He doesn't want to lose the money, but also doesn't want to be humiliated. Meanwhile, Grandpa and his granddaughter Susie are fully supporting Lin. Chen has no other option left. He doesn't even have the full amount. So, reluctantly, he gets down and walks away like a monkey. Everyone laughs watching him. After that, Lin walks up to Susie and says, "Can you do me a favor? I need help withdrawing the money from this card. I don't trust the Chen family. They even took my orphanage from me. Susie asks. Wait, is that orphanage outside the city yours? Lin nods. Meanwhile, outside, Chin is furious. He slaps his girlfriend and yells that he'll now use his dad's power to get revenge on Lin. Back with Lin, Susie and her grandpa offer to help and invite him to their home. When Lin gets there, he's shocked to learn that they are actually descendants of the Joseon dynasty, but for some reason, they've kept their identity a secret. They explain that they always wanted to tell the world about the Joseon dynasty, but no one believed them. So they decided to hide who they were and search for real artifacts quietly. As soon as they realized Lin had Joseon dynasty items, they came to meet him. Lin is stunned to hear all this. Then Grandpa asks about the hairpin and says he really wants to have it, no matter the cost. But Lin replies, I don't need money. You helped me when I needed it, and now I have enough. I'll give it to you for free. Grandpa is deeply impressed by Lin's honesty and simplicity. He praises him warmly. Later, Lin heads to the supermarket to buy things for the princess. He shops like crazy, without even looking at the prices. The staff gets excited and all start helping him because he's buying so much. At checkout, the cashier smiles and says, Sir, you've shopped a lot, so we'd like to give you a gift. We'll deliver everything to your home for free. Lin replies, Actually, I don't have a home yet. Can you keep it stored for a little while? Then he goes house hunting and finds a huge mansion that he really likes. The broker can't believe a simple-looking guy like Lin could buy a $20 million house, so he asks, Are you sure you can afford this? Lin just smiles, hands him the card, and when the card is swiped, the payment goes through. The broker is left completely speechless. Now that Lin had become super rich, the broker started buttering him up and showing him all kinds of fancy properties. But Lin wasn't fooled. He said, I'll tell you when I want to buy something, don't push it. Then Lin called the supermarket girl and had all his shopping delivered to his new home. But once everything arrived, he got overwhelmed. Looking at the mountain of stuff, he thought, now I'll have to put all this into the magic mirror one by one. How boring. But just then, something magical happened. All the items flew into the mirror by themselves. Lin smiled in relief. On the other side, the princess was praying to God for food and water. After waiting a long time with no results, Rui said, I don't think there's a God behind this. He even took your bra. The princess replied, Don't talk nonsense. That must have been a mistake. I know there's a God behind the mirror. She started praying again. Suddenly, food and drinks began coming out of the mirror, and both of them were thrilled. At that moment, Lin's hand accidentally reached into their world as he was pulling something in. The princess saw it and assumed it was the hand of God. She grabbed it, and by accident ended up getting pulled into Lin's world, landing right on top of him. As she looked at Lin, she said, God! You're so pretty! Your hair and skin color are a bit different, but you look just like me. Lin was confused but shocked too. He had seen this girl in his dreams before. He said, You're kinda sitting in the wrong spot. Mind moving a little? They started talking, and the princess told him she was from the Joseon dynasty. Lin got even more confused and asked, If you're a princess, why do you keep calling me God? She replied, Because you were the one putting food on the table. I just didn't understand what it was. That's when Lin realized that the mirror wasn't just magical. It was actually a portal connecting two worlds. He asked, Why didn't you eat it? She said, How could I? I didn't even know what it was. Then Lin showed her how to open the packet and eat it properly. See? It's super tasty, he said. The princess got confused and ended up eating directly from Lin's mouth, thinking that was part of it, creating a pretty awkward moment. Lin quickly got up to leave, but the princess stopped him and said, Now that I'm in this world, I need to learn how things work. Lin handed her some English books filled with rules and facts about the modern world. He told her, Read these before you go outside. And don't tell anyone who you really are. Then he ran off. Outside, Lin was thinking, what the heck is even happening in my life right now? Just then, he smelled something amazing. He turned and saw that the princess had cooked food for him. Shocked, he asked, "How did you learn to roast this world's rats so fast?" The princess proudly said, "I'm quick to learn. I read those books you gave me. Everything made sense." Lin was stunned. She read and understood English? He couldn't even read them himself. After that, he gave her some clothes since she wanted to go out and explore. As soon as she stepped out wearing modern clothes, Lin was stunned. She looked absolutely beautiful. Then she changed into another outfit, and the two of them went out to explore the city. The princess loved everything she saw, and Lin started enjoying her company more and more. They ate together, played games, went shopping, and by the end of it all, Lin was completely exhausted. But the princess? Not even a little tired. After shopping, Lin gave her a small electric device and said, "If you ever get into trouble, just use this." She decided to test it right away, on Lin. He got a big shock from it, and they both laughed before heading home. As soon as they got back, Susie called and invited Lin to her exhibition. The princess insisted on going along, and Lin took her with him. At the exhibition, they ran into Chain and his girlfriend again. Chain's girlfriend started being rude to the princess, but the princess didn't hold back. She gave it right back to her. Then Chain tried to flirt with the princess, which made her angry, and she slapped him. When he misbehaved again, she used the electric shock device on him, and Lin couldn't help but enjoy watching that. Soon after, Susie arrived at the exhibition with her grandpa and Chain's dad. When Chain's dad saw what his son had done, he scolded him and even slapped him. Then he made it clear that Lin was a VIP guest and should be treated with respect. He personally took Lin inside with him. After they left, Chain got angry at his dad, but his dad told him not to take direct revenge. "Do something smarter, something that ruins him without ruining our name," he said. Later, Susie started the exhibition by presenting a cup that she claimed belonged to the Jo dynasty. Everyone admired it and thought it was extremely valuable. But the moment the princess saw it, she laughed and said she used to feed her cat in that same cup. Next, Susie showed a painting of a Jo dynasty princess, and the crowd admired how beautiful she looked. The princess immediately recognized it. It was a painting her son had once made of her. Lin quickly whispered, "Don't say anything. If people find out, it'll just cause problems." The princess nodded and stayed quiet. Then Chain's dad presented another item and said it was the most expensive piece in the exhibition. Everyone believed him, but the princess instantly recognized it. It was actually an old-fashioned potty used by animals, designed in a way that they wouldn't slip. Because people nowadays had no idea what it really was, they thought it was a valuable antique. The princess couldn't help it. She burst out laughing. And seeing this, Lin asks her why she's laughing. The princess then tells him everything, that the item being displayed in front of everyone wasn't some precious artifact, but actually a place where animals used to relieve themselves. Hearing this, Lin also bursts out laughing. Seeing them laugh during such a serious moment, Chain's father gets angry and asks why they're laughing in the middle of an important presentation. That's when the princess and Lin tell him the truth. Some people actually start believing the princess, as they had seen that item online before. Chain's father feels embarrassed and in anger tells Lin, "People like you, so poor, come here and ruin our reputation." Then he says, "If you can show something more valuable than this, I'll give you 10 million won." Lin replies, "Alright, then let me show you something of mine." Lin then pulls out a seal from the Jo dynasty, which still works. Everyone is shocked to see it. Even Susie demonstrates that the seal is functional. Then Lin shows the princess's clothing from the Jo dynasty, which amazes everyone even more. Chain's father finally admits defeat and leaves a card worth 10 million won behind as he walks away. Afterward, Susie and her grandpa begin to suspect Lin and the princess. They discuss how every time they meet Lin, he seems to have something from the Jo dynasty, and the girl with him appears quite mysterious. So they ask the princess her name, but she refuses to tell them, which makes them even more suspicious. Susie's grandpa tells her to keep an eye on the princess and find out who she really is. Seeing all this, Lin also starts to worry that the truth might come out. So he quickly takes the princess back home and tells her, "You should return to your world now." The princess agrees, but she doesn't want to go alone. So secretly, she brings Lin into her world with her. When they arrive, Lin is shocked and asks where they are. The princess tells him that it's her bedroom. After that, the princess slowly moves closer to Lin, and the two become intimate. They spend some time together in her world. Meanwhile, Ray gets worried about the princess and goes to her sister, who is now the queen, to tell her everything, how the princess went into the magical mirror. The queen doesn't believe it at first, but decides to check the princess's room anyway. Hearing someone approach, the princess gets scared and thinks, "If my sister sees me like this, I'm in big trouble." She tries to hide Lin, and he quickly escapes back through the magical mirror to his own world. Then the queen enters the room, and the princess ends up telling her everything. Initially, the queen is skeptical, but as the princess shows her the items and explains everything, she starts to believe her. Meanwhile, back in Lin's world, a box suddenly appears through the magical mirror, full of precious jewelry and a letter. The princess had written that she needs more food and supplies. Lin gathers all the necessary items and goes to Susie and her grandpa. In exchange for the jewelry, he takes money from them. They are stunned to see such valuable Joseon dynasty jewels and start getting more suspicious of Lin. Grandpa even asks where all this stuff is coming from, but Lin brushes it off and says it all belongs to him. After that, Lin leaves. Meanwhile, Grandpa becomes even more suspicious of him and tells Susie to keep an eye on him. On the other hand, Lin buys a lot of food and supplies and stores them at home. Meanwhile, the princess and the queen are having a conversation, but the queen still doesn't fully believe her. Suddenly, she sees a hand coming out of the magical mirror, which scares her. At that moment, Lin pulls her through. As soon as the queen enters Lin's world, both she and Lin feel a bit nervous. Then the princess arrives and introduces her as her sister. Lin respectfully greets her. After a while, the queen suddenly faints. The princess thinks it might be due to shock, but when Lin touches her, he realizes she has a high fever. Lin asks what happened, and the princess explains that the last time she went to war, she may have been injured there, and she's had a fever since. Lin brings her medicine and begins treating her. Then the story introduces Gun, who is Grandpa's grandson. He learns everything from the house guard, and when he finds out that a boy has been coming to the house repeatedly, he gets angry and says to find out everything about that guy. Meanwhile, the princess becomes very happy seeing all the food and supplies. Lin gives the medicine and necessary things to the queen, and then both sisters return to their world. On the other side, Yen, wanting to take revenge on his grandpa, goes to Chain and the two of them plan how to get hold of magical artifacts. Chain's father also helps Yen with this plan because he too wants revenge on Grandpa. The princess is monitoring her palace using the drone Lin gave her when she sees someone trying to steal the magical mirror from her room. She's shocked, and Ray comes in to tell her that the mirror has indeed gone missing. Meanwhile, Lin needs something, so he visits Grandpa again and asks for help. Grandpa agrees to help him. Seeing this, Susie asks why he's helping Lin so much. Grandpa explains that he suspects Lin has the bronze mirror from the Joseon dynasty. When Susie asks what that is, Grandpa tells her it's a magical mirror that connects two worlds. Whoever possesses it can access all the treasures of the dynasty. He tells her to keep a close watch on Lin because that mirror belongs to them, and they need to get it back. On the other hand, Yen already knows about the mirror and shares everything with Chain's dad. At first, Chain's dad doesn't believe him, but then Chain's girlfriend says she also saw a mirror like that with Lin. It's been with him since childhood. Once everyone is convinced that Lin really has the mirror, they begin planning how to take it from him. After that, Chain's girlfriend goes back near Lin's house and watches him enter. She figures out his house's passcode and sneaks inside. When Lin sees her, he gets angry. But she walks up to him and says, "I've realized now that I truly loved you. I made a mistake by leaving you. I want to come back to you." Saying this, she moves closer to him. Lin pushes her away and throws her out of the house. When Chain finds out that she failed to bring back the magical mirror, He gets furious and slaps her. Then he sends her again to steal the mirror. On the other hand, Lin prepares himself fully to help the princess because he had found out that she was in trouble. He had even gone to meet an old man to ask for help. Once all the preparations are complete, Lin travels to the princess's world. Meanwhile, Chane's girlfriend gets a golden opportunity. She sneaks into Lin's house, and since no one is there, she steals the magical mirror and leaves. Back in the other world, when the princess and the queen regain consciousness, they realize they've been captured. Their husband is seen approaching, and the queen realizes that a guard must have told him about the magical mirror. Now he wants to kill them and take the mirror to rule the world. But just then, Lin arrives, fully prepared, and attacks. He defeats everyone and rescues the princess and the queen. Then Ray comes and informs them that someone else has also come into their world through the magical mirror. When Lin reaches there, he finds out it's Grandpa. Lin asks him, "How did you get here?" Grandpa explains that he had been keeping an eye on Lin's house when he saw Lin's ex-girlfriend stealing the mirror. He went to retrieve it but was kidnapped on the way. When he regained consciousness, he discovered that his grandson and Chane's father were planning to take over everything he had. When he tried to stop them, they trapped him inside the magical mirror. Hearing this, Lin says, "Now we'll all go out together and fight back." Then Lin and the princess exit through the magical mirror. 2 bodyguards are outside, but the princess alone defeats both of them and ties them up before leaving. Once outside, they run into Chane, and both Lin and the princess give him a solid beating. Once everything is resolved, Lin brings Grandpa out of the mirror too. Grandpa, happy with Lin's help, allows him to keep the magical mirror. After that, Lin and the princess team up to teach Chane's dad and Yen a lesson as well. Gradually, all the troubles fade away, and Lin's life becomes amazing. He begins to live a happy life with the princess. Drama ends here. If like this drama, please subscribe my channel.